Yeah. And you still want to do a master's? Even after all of the things you just told me about how the paper doesn't matter, or like the getting a better paper doesn't always mean, or better degree doesn't always mean better opportunities.
Okay, here's my feeling.
Okay. Okay.
My feeling is once I get into like a community, like I can know more people, and like for example, I get into Switzerland, like one of the schools master program, I can know a group of people which are super like can feel more attached or like connected. Maybe I guess it's a good way to get a diploma.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't care about the study though.
Okay, it's really about the community feeling.
The community feeling, yes. Yeah. I don't care what theories we learn. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way to get the community feeling outside of university?
Ooh, that's what you want to do, isn't it?
Oh, it's just a question. What do you think?
I think certain subject.
Okay.
Like my startup idea is to use a coffee as a connection because I love coffee and a lot of people love coffee. So
sorry, that's your startup idea, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to build a platform to connect local coffee shop and then start small business owners.
Okay.
One provide venue, one provide. Sorry, what I'm saying. I want to connect the local artists and then small business owners like coffee shops.
Okay.
And then that kind of like form a community.
Okay.
Per se. So I think coffee could be a good way, like a certain subject, to connect people.
Yeah, I think so. But I guess like you're seeing that like right now it's hard to find like coffee shop communities even like outside of like there's a reason you want to spend more money and get a master's even though you don't really care about what you're studying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think getting an education is a good way for me to switch environment. Like I got no reason to stay in a country or a legal reason. I think getting an education, like legally, I can stay longer.
That's true. Yeah, I think if you are an international student, that makes a lot of sense because I think something that I can do that I forget that you can't do is like I can just go live near a university in Canada and then just like pretend I'm a student, but you can't do that or you get kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Also depends on the university.
Why?
Not all of them are like that open, technically. Like, for example, maybe it works for Canada. I haven't been to all of the Canadian ones except the U of T one. But in New York, you can't. Like, NYU has like a closed community. If you don't have NYU's card, you can't get in.
Yeah.
And also it makes sense because it's right in the middle of the city. And if they open it for everyone, people are going to use it for clean washrooms.
Yeah.
It has really good like spots, by the way.
So. All right, check out the washrooms at NYU. This is an advertisement.
No, I'm not saying, but like I'm saying, like it's better than McDonald's washrooms.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, no, I love good washrooms. I love my favorite washrooms in the city. Page 1 has some pretty interesting washrooms. It's a coffee shop.
Okay.
Page 1.
Oh, it's a coffee shop. Okay.
Yeah, it has a interesting washrooms. Yeah. I want to make a list of my favorite interesting washrooms in the city.
Actually, one of my friends back in New York did that because he was done with like school, so he didn't have access to school anymore.
Oh.
So he had like all of the pins, like a map only for washrooms.
Oh, okay.
Throughout the city.
You guys care about the washroom the most, even than
Who's you guys?
Like the boys.
Boys.
Really?
No, actually, we care less. Really? Isn't that?
No,
because boys like they feel the washroom is disgusting, so they don't want to use it.
Yo, I mean, my butt cheeks only need to touch the toilet seat some of the time. It's not the same for girls, so I'm not sure if this argument really holds up.
Yeah. Plus, we don't need to sit necessarily.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, just find a like far enough bush or something.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so fair.
Yeah.
That's so fair. I feel Canada's washroom never open. The public washroom in the park or anything, they never opens.
Yeah. But Canada has lots of bushes, so maybe it's okay if you're a boy. For boys only. Yeah,
for girls too.
Oh.
Yeah.
To be tested.
Have you checked the camera?
Yes.
Okay.
It's recording.
Okay.
Well, this is an interesting start. I don't know where we started, but
right,
that's
cool.
a good start.
So, tell me about yourselves.
That's how it starts.
I love how he turned the table back to us.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, actually?
What?
Yeah.
No, you should start first.
I should start?
As a guest, yeah.
No, but to understand the best way to approach this, I want to know about why you started this podcast. Like, what's the point of this podcast? What am I here? Why am I here? You know?
Good question.
Self-conscious. I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the first time me and Sina actually sit down. We want to have a kind of like a business together where we share ideas, and then like we talk about having some coffee shop in a zoo, and then like the zoo or animal all around, but there's a coffee shop in the middle.
You want to have a coffee shop in a zoo?
Yeah.
Or a zoo in a coffee shop.
Yeah, or a zoo in a coffee shop. So people like look around.
So they drink their coffee, and then the monkey drinks the coffee, and then the fish also drink the coffee.
That'll be human. It's us.
Okay, my bad.
But like that kind of like diverge to merge to the like having a podcast together.
Okay.
Like gathering people, but that idea comes later, and then we just want to interview people when they're still very young, and then we're still access to your resources like you can share with our potential audience in the future, and also for both of us.
Okay.
Also, selfishly, podcast is the best way to get meetups with people. Like if you ask people to, okay, let's go have chats randomly, they'll be like, maybe, possibly. But if you ask, we have a podcast, are you interested? They'll be like, hell yeah. But
I guess it depends on the type of person. I think it does depend.
That's true.
Like, I feel like right now for me, if I had to find someone to talk to, I'd be like, you want to do a picnic? A sunset picnic at Riverdale Park East? We'll go to TNT first, get some food, and then we'll go to, and then they're sold, I don't even need to have a podcast. I don't even need a microphone. We just go.
Actually, the thing is that we wanted to do like nature like podcast too. Because we have the camera, we don't have that much of a big setup. We can literally take this to a nature.
Yeah.
But
why aren't we outside in the rain right now? That's what
maybe not under rain, but also there's one factor that limits us a little bit, is that the camera overheats.
Oh yeah,
it's shooting under sun.
Too much K, 5K, 6K, 7K. Sorry.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
but tell us more about you.
Me.
Yeah, for special viewers.
I feel like I never know where to start. I always struggle with introductions. I hate giving like the LinkedIn spiel. Like I know some people in the network and they're like, hello, blah blah blah, and then they just say exactly what's on their LinkedIn. They have it memorized. Yeah. I don't have that. I actually introduce myself a different way every single time. So I just have to make it up on the spot. So today I am some dude that hates social media and but still wants to stay connected with the people that is important in his life. And so I'm working on the anti-social social media. That's kind of what I'm doing. I also have been running a lot of events recently, just like random stuff like drawing events, painting, baking, just like lots of hobby events, and also like finding existing events in the city. Like there's some dance events, there's some like immersive experiences that I just get a lot of tickets to, and then I bring some of my friends to those events, and then they get to have fun with each other. And so I think this all of this really just stems from a place of like when I first moved to Toronto from after leaving Waterloo, I was just really lonely and I did not know how to make friends. And I went to like meetup.com and everyone was older. Everyone was like my parents' age. Like I was going on hikes. I was going on hikes with like mamas. And they're like, oh, I have a son. He's 19. And I'm like, dude, I'm like 20. Like I should not be hiking with your mom. Like what's going on? So I just like didn't know how to make friends as a young adult. And so I think I've gotten a lot better at that after my initial like struggle, and so since that time I've like left Toronto and came back, and now that I'm back I'm like, okay, like let's make friendships happen in the city the way I wanted to, but I couldn't when I first came to Toronto. Yeah.
Oh, that's so amazing. I feel so different, like when you talk about how to make a introduction different. I know some job interview, they always like 30 seconds, introduce yourself, and everybody just, it's so normal.
How do you, can I hear how you introduce yourself?
How I introduce myself?
Yes, I actually am curious.
Oh, I know the two ways of introducing.
Oh, no.
They say,
Okay.
they say if you ask a Paris people, like people from Paris, they say, what do you do for a living? They say, oh, I buy grocery, I buy this baguette, and then eat a croissant. And then they say if you ask for someone else, like a super, maybe North America or Chinese, for example, or Asian or whatever, and then they will say, oh, I work in this company and I'm in this position for 6 years, or I'm currently a student. It's about identity who trapped you. And then right now I'm the later one. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Tell me about your identity.
Wow, okay, yeah. I'm a graduating student from University of Toronto
Okay.
and I'm doing math and economics. Absolutely don't like mathematics.
Oh, okay.
But I love economics.
Okay.
And I also love politics and love talking with people, love biking. I've been doing a bike tour guide on Toronto Island for 2 years.
You've been doing you're a Toronto bike tour guide.
Yeah, I used to be 2 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wendy.
Bike Wendy. I'm planning actually. I have an event where I take people on a bike tour of the city.
Damn.
So we need to fight to the death. It sounds like what needs to happen.
I
That's the
know,
conclusion.
I know spots. I know
I know
scripts.
spots too.
I know scripts.
Okay.
Should have a matchup.
Do you
How
know
about-
why Toronto
do
called
you-
Toronto?
Do you Toronto? It's a indigenous name. I have no idea what the no Toronto is it like harmony or some shit?
It's called Toronto, and then like it means
Is
kind of
it the
trees in the
turtle?
water,
No.
in the water something.
Something in the
about
water?
Yeah.
Water? Waddle.
Yeah. Trees in the water.
Trees in the water? Has nothing to do with turtles. No, no, it's Canada. Canada is Turtle Island, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. No, it's because like the entire continent is the shell of a turtle in the water
Mm.
for some reason.
That's they always say in the indigenous speech.
Yeah.
It's the word Turtle Island.
Yeah. So we're just riding on a nice
Does
turtle.
turtle mean island in a way? Like everything that is floating on water, that's a turtle.
I guess so. If you think about like a sea turtle and it's just like swimming and its shell comes out of the water, it's like, oh, that's a little island, you know. So I think it makes sense.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought sea turtles are at the bottom of the ocean, but maybe I'm wrong. Or actually, not ocean, seas. Okay, I'm not like knowledgeable about these, so
Nice.
not- my turn.
Yeah. Introduce
Indeed.
yourself.
Okay, I have a little bit of an identity crisis at this point because I
Who
don't
are
have
you?
the I don't know how to identify myself with accomplishments. So I would
Oh.
say like I'm an enthusiast about people and technology right now in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Paris version. But if you guys wanna know the accomplishment version, it's like a X and YUer, I guess.
Mm.
I have one of those expensive degrees too. That is kind of
Damn.
useless.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah, and it was actually very interesting that you went about like the events, like creating your own events
Yeah.
to find people, because I had the exact same struggle.
Okay.
I was like going to random events when initially I came to Toronto, because since I didn't go to school here, I didn't know people, right?
Right.
So my approach was that going to events, and then I was like, these events are so random. But
Mhm.
one day I went to a U of T event, and I was like, maybe it's time to go back to university
Oh.
environments. That's the easiest or best place for me, at least, to find people and friends,
Was
especially
that-
similar-minded
Was
friends.
that your primary motivation in going? Did you end up going to U of T? Like after that
I'm not
decision?
studying at U of T, but I'm associated with many of their activities at this point.
Oh, so you're just
Yeah.
pretending to be a U of T student.
Yeah, wanna be U of T, but I
Oh.
don't want to spend money on it. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
I did that for a while. I just went to U of T. I pretended to be a U of T student, and I ended up joining the U of T Game Development Club and like a bunch of other random clubs that I no longer remember. I only remember that one, but I joined like 4 or 5 random U of T clubs.
How about
Um,
UT Mist? Have you ever been to UT Mist? UT Mist?
UT missed no.
Oh.
I went to U of T, like tea shops, like the UT. I don't know. There's something.
There is a T.
Yeah, and there's also like
UTT?
UTT. There's U of.
That's
the-
interesting.
I have no idea what the fuck it's called anymore. But like they just did like random tea shop hangouts. I think it's for tea enthusiasts. And I'm sure there's like a mental health one and like an origami club that I also joined. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
Even more than the
Ah,
student itself.
the actual
It's studying. We're studying.
yeah.
That's actually true, because we have free time when we're not going to school. It's different from students. Students don't have that much free time.
Yeah,
In a sense.
I guess so.
Also, I feel like I have an idea for how
Oh.
to like community. I used to be an orientation coordinator for
Okay.
my college, and then you know like how they have an orientation week for the newcomers student. What if there's an orientation week for new Toronto?
That
comer?
sounds awesome.
It's like you host an event and then say, oh, this is the orientation week, kind of like representing the start of the year. And then you host events or whatever, you introducing the new people.
Mm,
And that could be pretty cool.
that would be pretty cool. Yeah. Huh.
So orientation, yeah, with the orientation to the community.
Yeah, or
community.
even just like orientation to Toronto. Like there's like lots of immigrants here, right? And they like never
Yeah,
really know
you could
like
provide
how to.
free trip because they don't
Yeah.
need to pay some $80 per trip to visit Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess like I'd have to find a way to like find a version of it that's fun. But yeah, no, I think because like I don't want to start too big,
Mm.
otherwise it just becomes like this
Yeah.
massive planning headache with lots of
There's
logistics.
collaborating now.
Oh,
Oh
I'd
yeah,
Just
love
going
to.
that
yeah. Do
direction.
you wanna? I think we should co-host our bike tour. I think we should co-host a Toronto
Mm.
biking exploration.
I'm good at checking people. I can definitely I can
Okay,
check people.
cool. We will talk more after the show.
Oh, you know, like how you can just be more comfortable on biking, just say in the
Oh,
city.
like not look in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. We will discuss collaborating after the show, and we will invite your entire guests,
Okay.
audience, to experience it.
Yeah.
Link below. uh, yeah, tell people about like your journey after Waterloo, because for people who don't know about you,
True. I did not even say in my introduction that I went to Waterloo.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, he actually went for CS at Waterloo, and
yeah.
for also American viewers, because we do have some.
Oh,
Waterloo is like one of the most cracked CS schools in Canada,
yeah.
if not
It's
the
the
most.
MIT of the North.
Yeah, it's MIT of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically he went there, and you dropped out.
I did drop out.
Interestingly,
Yeah, because I was really bad at math. Can you relate? Hey.
Why there's so much proof about 18 something?
Yeah, I was just like trying to rotate n-dimensional matrices, and I was just like, man, if I can't visualize it, I can't do it. And then I gave up right there on the spot. I was like, bye. No, but I think the real reason that I ended up dropping out was just that like I think I think I was never really particularly like interested in the concept of university. I just did it because my parents said I had to, and that if I didn't go, I was a loser. So I was like, okay, I guess I don't want to be a loser. So it seems like I have one option. And when I went, I discovered that I experienced a lot more joy and excitement, and like when I was just like learning from my own curiosity. Like I would just be like, oh, I want to learn how to make a website. And then I would just look and Google how to make a website and then watch the YouTube tutorials or like something, and I'd follow it, and then I'd like make that. And then there'd be like the homework that is like not related to my website at all. And I was like, who cares? And I just keep working on my website, and then I'd fail the course. Or maybe like what would happen is like I would join clubs. I joined UW Blueprint, and it was just UW Blueprint is a club at Waterloo where students help nonprofits who can't afford technology solutions. The students help them build like custom technology solutions to help the nonprofits run. One of the ones that was pretty famous was like there's this nonprofit in India that was responsible for helping people like pick up plastics and like recycling and like turning that into clothing. And then the Waterloo students, Blueprint, the organization, they ended up making this tracker that helped them collect data about what they were able to recover. And that data was able to help them get better prices with people who purchased that material. So it helped make this line of work more sustainable for people in India. So that was like kind of cool. But yeah, I was just like working on these projects that actually were being used by real people, and it felt like I was like doing the thing. I was like, what is school trying to teach me to do? School is getting me ready to like make something with technology and help people and have a career out of it. And I'm already doing that and in school, except like that's not even the point of this school. This school I have to like fail. I have to do my linear algebra exams and fail. And so eventually I was just like, why is all the excitement and the thing where I'm learning the most, the stuff that is happening for free in the school environment, and then like the paid stuff, like I don't even care and is not even helping me. I can't see how it is helping me learn. And like I feel like even with linear algebra, it's like they just give it to me at the wrong time, you know? Like I can't read the linear algebra textbook unless you like make me curious. Maybe you like start out with like showing me some machine learning stuff and be like, isn't this cool? And then show me a basic concept and go like, all right, like here's the point where you need to study this textbook in order to understand this cool bigger thing, like in context. And they just never gave me that, and so I never gave a shit, and I just did other things.
Some professors really like don't care or don't think about the how to manage the course better. They just want to finish it.
Yeah.
Being told what to do by the university.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know. I think I had good professors. I'm just like a projects-based person. I'm not like learn something for no reason. I need to learn something for a reason, and the reason has to be because I care.
But I feel you realized it pretty early. Like, I mean, you were just second year, and I think my second year I was still stuck in like or getting better with this environment, and then trying to how to be a good student and to find my own pace.
Yeah, I think I've just always been a rule breaker. I've been a bad child, and that's been very helpful for me because I feel like, yeah, I've always been very good at like when I don't know what the fuck is going on, like trying to understand like the critical pieces of my environment and figuring out how things work. Like getting used to new environments has always been like a very quick thing for me just because, I don't know, I feel like I had to do it a lot. I think it's because I moved around as a kid. Like I kept moving schools and my parents kept moving around and I had to like go new school and then I'd be like, all right, new place, time to lock in, time to figure out how to survive. And so after I did that a bunch of times while growing up, adjusting to new environments became easy, but maintaining long-term friendships and feeling close to people, that was hard. Yeah. Yeah.
That's actually valid. I was kind of the same type of personality. I do like to learn stuff by doing them. Like, give me the interesting project first, then I go for learning it because there's no point in learning before knowing what's it used for. But also at the same time, there is this thing that prevents most of the people from like maybe trying to do like some different path, other than school. And I want to kind of ask what you have done after school, because like it's a very uncertain environment. First of all, you don't have the friendship connections around you. Also, there might be judgments. There will be uncertainty. There is no clear path for you. You have to choose your own friends, choose your own path, choose what to do. How did you navigate through that uncertainty and like all of those challenges?
Yeah.
Did you know it all like when you left, or was it like, oh, you left and you're like, oh, now I fucked up, what should I do to fix it, or how can I?
So I knew that I probably could guess that I was going to drop out even from like the first year. I just kept going to my academic advisor, Carmen Bruni at Waterloo, and every single term I would go to Carmen Bruni and be like, Carmen, I hate being here. And then Carmen would be like, son, listen to me. You have to stay in school. Like, your lower bar in life is just so much higher once you get a degree. Like, why would you take the risk of being able to like lose everything when you can get so much safety by just having a degree? And I was like, Carmen, okay, fine. I guess you're right. I stay another term.
My mental health.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
But I think the truth was just like I was just not interested, and I kept like looking at other things and exploring. And I was growing in my career, but I was not growing academically. And eventually came the point where I was taking his course because he was also a professor, and I did so badly in his course that on the day of the exam, I woke up and then I did the calculation and I realized even if I got full marks on the exam, I would still fail the course. So why even bother going to the exam? So I did not go to the exam. I just took a walk. And there's a walk around campus, and eventually, without even thinking about it, I ended up in front of his office. And I just walked into his office, and I said, Carmen, I'm supposed to be taking your exam right now, but I'm not. And then he looked at me, and then he sat me down, and he had like a 2-hour conversation. And at the end of the conversation, he was like, okay, I get it. Like, you seem to think that you don't need school to make it. Like, you don't feel the necessity. You don't feel like you have to do this. You feel like you have other options for some reason. Okay, if you think you have other options, don't wait for Waterloo to kick you out. Because that's what you're doing right now. You're waiting for your grades to be so bad that you have to leave and try something else. If that happens, you can never come back. But here's what you can do instead. You can actually, as a Waterloo student, take a year off school. And then during your gap year, you can just do whatever the heck you're going to do when they kicked you out for a year and try that life out. And then one of two possibilities will happen. Either you will realize that actually, yeah, you can make it, that you like are able to find the right people, the right community, the right connections, the interesting projects, and you're able to find a way to grow your career in the real world without school. Or you'll realize that actually it's maybe really hard to find a community of people. Maybe it's really hard to get motivated. Maybe after a year, you're just playing Minecraft in your parents' basement. And then you have the opportunity to come back to Waterloo. And maybe this time, because you know you need to do it and it's not just some optional thing, you will actually give a shit and you will actually try. And I was like, Carmen, that's a really good idea. And I just didn't know that that was possible, because every time before when someone was like, oh yeah, I took a gap year and I backpacked through Europe, or I went to Vietnam, or and I was just like, I don't want to waste a year doing random bullshit. But Carmen was the first person that suggested to me that I don't have to do random bullshit on my gap year. I can just do the thing that feels important to me. And that blew my mind, because I thought the only thing you're allowed to do during your gap year is random bullshit. And I don't know why I thought that. And this kind of like connects me to like this realization I've been having, this bigger realization I've been having recently, of like, people are largely held back in life by like the things that they don't know, but they just assume are true, you know? Like, I assume that I can only do random bullshit during my gap year, but it's so obvious when I look at it that why did I think that? Like, I can do whatever I want.
I have an idea why you think about that.
Why do I think
Maybe it's
that?
about social media. It's on social media.
Don't segue me.
Yeah. No, it's on social media. Everybody say like I did a Europe trip during my gap year, where like some trip. So that could give people some.
Or even LinkedIn, you see like people internship here, there, like they're doing a startup. There's like they got accepted to a new school. All of those.
I think that's like something that became more of a thing like after I left Waterloo. Like, for example, right now I can walk into a hackathon and I can fully expect there to be a 14-year-old kid coding in the hackathon, fully. I learned about hackathons in second year university. I walked into that hackathon and no one that like there was like below university. No one there was in high school. You know, it wasn't until like I was 20, like it wasn't until I left university that I saw for the first time someone in high school in a hackathon. And I went up to him and was like, what are you doing here? You're in high school. And he's just like, I have to, man. Everyone's doing it. And I'm like, what's going on? And so I feel like all this kind of like everyone going crazy and doing internships and doing this and that and like not just relaxing during their gap year, that came after. When I was considering dropping out, no one was doing that yet. The world hadn't gotten that crazy yet. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I really do, the thing I was saying earlier is just like, I really do believe that like the thing that we're held back in life by is like perspective. And like, that's not something, like, I think that's the thing you're supposed to get in school. But really, I think perspective you can only get by like going out there in the world and like following your curiosity and doing things that like, that are at the edge of your abilities, that you feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do it, but maybe I'll try anyways. Like, that's how you like learn to see the world a different way. And like, perspective's this thing that like you can't buy and you can't sell, but it's possible to gain a perspective and it changes your decisions for the rest of your life. And that's such a powerful thing. And it's so weird that we can buy cars, you can buy houses, but you can't buy perspective, this powerful thing that money can't buy.
Wow, perspectives.
Yeah.
How do you get those perspectives? Is it just experience or like being around the people with the correct perspective? Because most of us, not us, like most of the people are like stuck in this type of perspective that they can only achieve this or get to that level.
Right.
But unless if you get to that specific knowledge, you don't know even some stuff are possible, as you mentioned. So what is the best way to go and get that?
I think people these days are very scared. I think people are. I think it's very natural for people to be scared right now because they have grown up with their brains being molded by TikTok, and this is something I think about a lot. Of just like what is TikTok? TikTok is this machine that gives us videos that make our brain feel good. And if we see a video and it does not make our brain feel good, like makes us feel bored or annoyed or sad or angry, we just swipe and then it goes away. And so before, people had to always deal with things that didn't make them feel good. They had to like go outside, even if it was raining, to get food. Now you can just call Uber Eats and they come, they give you the food, you don't even have to experience the discomfort of the rain. So like the amount of discomfort you have to experience as a human has gone down so much, right? Even just your everyday TikTok, the whole point of that thing is this is a space where you can experience the minimum amount of discomfort ever. And people are on that thing like for like hours a day. And I think what that's like done to us, it's just made us all very scared. Like everyone's very scared of dating, everyone's very scared of people. Like the reason why people are so lonely is because like talking to people now makes us uncomfortable, not because there's anything wrong with people, but because people don't come packaged for us by an algorithm. People are different. People are going to make you uncomfortable. You are going to have fights. You're going to have that friend that has feelings for you and you don't have feelings back. Like they are not packaged for you like algorithms. They're going to be uncomfortable, but all the other systems in our life, all the internet stuff, all the digital stuff is designed to like shelter us in this bubble of comfort. And so I think people are that like the main reason why people are stuck is because they've like they're so used to comfort that like going outside of the bubble now just feels scary. And my mom actually said this too, because my mom's like a stay-at-home mom now. She used to be like a working mom, but ever since she had my sister, she stays at home. Literally like 4 days ago, she was driving me downtown, and she said that like the past 5 years, basically she's just been at home like all the time. And now going out into the world is like scary. Like she recently had to like go and do some, like go downtown and like from Markham to do some stuff, some tax related like documents and filing. And she's just like, oh my God, I'm so not practiced navigating the world. And the world is scary because I haven't been in it for so long. And I'm like, if that's been happening like to my mom, like, I don't know. I feel like she's part of the generation that's supposed to not be afraid of anything. She moved here from China and started a new life. Now she's scared of going downtown. Like, that's crazy, was what I was thinking.
That's so fair. Like you mentioned this, like no matter dating or making friends, is all need to spend time to getting to know each other. But like yeah, as you mentioned, everything else is trying to decrease the time. Where
yeah. And so I keep starting things but never finishing things. I also know I never like explain exactly what I did after university. But to close off
that's an interesting conversation.
Yeah. To close off the perspective, like what do I think people need to do people just need to find the thing that would make their lives better or make them a better person or both that they're too scared to do, and then find a fun way to do something in that direction by the end of this week. That's everyone just kept doing that. I think they would be
go do it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like social accountability is really helpful for this. I think because like you'll just never do it. I think like probably if you have a friend that you can go talk to and be like, hey, I want to do this thing where you tell me the scary, uncomfortable thing that would be really awesome if you did, but you're totally going to avoid, and then I tell you mine, and then we're going to hold each other accountable and make sure by the end of the week that you show me your progress and I'll show you mine. Like something like that, I think is really helpful.
I have a question out of this topic.
Yeah.
Do you think every person, or like for example, two of us, all of us have a sparkling with each other?
Mm-hmm.
Or like there will be some like, oh, we just that kind of, it's embarrassing for conversation.
All of us have a what? Sorry.
Like I don't know how to describe it, but like
chemistry.
Yeah, chemistry is two people they met. Does that all people have chemistry with each other, or?
No, I've had some conversations where I had like no chemistry and it was very awkward and painful, and I didn't know how to address it. Yeah, like chemistry. Okay. Yeah. Why'd you ask that?
Oh, I remember before I hang out with some friend, just single friend, one-on-one, and I feel very awkward. I feel like I'm a very talkative person, but I really cannot find a single conversation with you, and it's really painful.
Yeah, I think the best conversations I have are with people that are non-judgmental and open, right? And I think the hardest conversations are with people that are judgmental and closed. Like they're not willing to like reveal themselves. Yeah.
Ask you questions and know.
Yeah, like how can you get anywhere when someone is closed, right?
Yeah.
And I think like I maybe like overvalue this, but I really value being an open person, and I think that's also helped me a lot. Just like, how did I get like let me just like think about like perspectives that I have now that I couldn't have gotten. I think going to San Francisco gave me a lot of perspective because going to San Francisco taught me that like everyone here is so focused on like making as much money as they can like right now the moment they graduate. But when I go to San Francisco, I realized that like holy crap, some of the people there spend like years basically making no money just learning. They're just like my 20s is not about making money. My 20s is about learning everything I can, and then my 30s is when I will put together all the puzzle pieces and do this. But you just don't see people doing that here. Everyone here is just like, okay, I need to get a job right away. I need to climb the ladder. I need to be in the system. But like their people are a little bit more like they understand that like true learning is like so important. And they also somehow know how to do it, and they know what the feeling of true learning feels like. And I think people here don't know what it feels like to really learn. And I think school is not an environment where that happens. I think true learning, the feeling is like it's like you're excited and like you feel like the world is like bigger than you thought, and there's a kind of like wonder that comes with it, and there's also this feeling that like you're discovering some path that was meant for you, and that doesn't happen in school.
I really like your idea. I feel one of the perspective I have, or everybody should have, it's like open-minded, and then like a fourth year, everybody apply jobs, of course, and then pressure, and then but this year I actually stopped applying jobs because I feel like it's not gonna go anywhere, and I don't want to spend time on those bullshit, and then so I kind of like stopped, and then I figure out I think once you stop focusing on one thing like too much or digging too deeper, you have your time to figure out what do you want to do. What's your values within yourself, and then. So I ditched all those like join companies idea or something to fit my parents' ideology, but like figuring out like I started my own podcast. So we're interviewing people, having conversations with people to find my answer. I think that's like open-minded where having that perspective is so helpful. Like that's not university taught you, and then they actually control you to the point that you don't have your own thoughts. You have to follow those agendas, those syllabus that you don't have control.
University teaches you to be afraid of failure, where the success criteria is decided by someone else. That's the craziest thing. University does not teach you how to define your own success criteria. They always have the success criteria. It's someone else's criteria, and your job is to be like aligned with it and then like perform, and then maybe you're right according to them, or maybe you're wrong according to them. And I'm just like, it's really sad to me what that does to people, because it gives people this sense of like analysis paralysis like all the time. They're always like, am I in the right job? Am I in the right city? And it's like they don't know how to take space for themselves to understand what they want. And something I do think about is just like, like how a lot of people are just making money working because they don't know what they want to do. Wouldn't it be sad if like they became like 50 and they still don't know what to do, and then they finally, they stop working, they retire, and they realize that actually what makes them happy in life is very simple, and they don't need a lot of money. They actually realize that they are the kind of person that they just need some sunlight and some good friends and like a small place to call home, nothing big, nothing fancy, and that is what makes them the most happy. And then they're like, oh my God, I spent 30 years getting so much money that I don't need at all. It doesn't even make me happy. But I did all of this because I didn't know who I am, and I don't know what made me happy, and I didn't take the space to figure out what I want. And I over-prepared. And I think a lot of people are doing that. They're like over-preparing. They're not taking any space because they're like scared that they'll like run out of time or money or something. And then they're just like, oh man, what if it turns out that the thing that makes me happy is really expensive? I better have enough money to cover it when I finally find out what makes me happy. And I better have a lot of money in case what makes me happy is really expensive. But they just like never take the time to find out.
The time you have enough money, you're owed.
Basically.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a sense of security in the current situation too. It's not all about that, but that's kind of true. And also, one thing about school that I feel like is underrated a little bit is that not only they kind of try to contain you in a way and like force you to follow a certain structure, but also they make you afraid or like ashamed of asking for help because everything is designed for you to work solo. If you're in an exam, you can't ask for help. If you're doing homework, you cannot collaborate, otherwise it'll be counted as cheating. But the whole point of all of those should be for people to fail, as you said, or as you said, and like try to learn by failure.
Yeah.
And all of those are forbidden. Asking is forbidden, failing is forbidden, collaboration is forbidden.
Yeah.
That's also another thing that is they're doing wrong in a way.
Yeah.
What if you can ask? What if you ask in the exams? I just don't know how to do it. Tell me. What if you
It might work actually. Has anyone tried?
I know in one of my math exam, and then there are a lot of Chinese kids, and there's one Chinese TA. He's monitoring the exam. He speaks Chinese in the exam to the students.
Oh.
Here, he's speaking the language. I'm like, wow.
Wait, like did he give them answers or something?
I don't know, but he's just speaking using his language.
Oh, okay.
It's very interesting.
Interesting.
That's a good way.
Yeah.
Probably.
I like how the movie shows, and the teacher just point out the paper, saying, this question. You should look at it.
Yeah, to double check this question. You fucked up there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the university system has like a lot of flaws. I mean, that's why I left. It just didn't work for me, and I also feel like the degree is becoming less valuable. We've already talked about that. I don't know, but it is just like, I think for me, something when I talk to people, I realize that people spend a lot of time thinking about what their next step is going to be, and they never do it. A lot of people just never do it. They just spend a lot of time thinking about it because they're like, oh my God, how do I make sure I don't fail? They're like, I need to make sure that whatever the next step is, it can't be the wrong step, or I'm cooked. You know, they're just like, it cannot be the wrong step. And they spend so much time and energy predicting like all the factors around it that they don't realize that the process of figuring out where you want to go goes like this. You start here, and then the best thing you can do when you don't have any data, instead of staying in your room and like thinking, is just to do something and go this way. And then maybe it's the wrong thing to do. Maybe you feel wrong about it. But that's actually good because you learn what felt wrong. Maybe the thing I did was like has too much social, it costs too much social energy, and I'm more introverted. Okay, now I learned that I can't be doing like too many social things, and then you move in that direction, and then you just like keep figuring out like your next direction through a series of movements, and then you eventually figure out that where you want to be is here. But like even if you go that way, it's still okay because you learn that you want to like change your direction. So like every time you make a step, you just figure out what felt good, what felt bad. Okay, cool. The next step is going to be more of what felt good and less of what felt bad. And like the only way to do that is to start by going in the wrong direction, or be okay with going in the wrong direction. And people are very scared of going in the wrong direction. So they just never take that first step, and then they stay stuck. Or do you feel that way?
Oh, that's how I didn't continue my startup because I want to make it good for my next step, or I want to work with the right people.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find the right people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just have to do the wrong thing, and not be scared of doing the wrong thing, and just be like, yeah, I don't have the right answer right now, so I'm going to intentionally pick the wrong answer. But if you've gone through university, everyone's going to look at you like you're crazy. Like, you're going to pick the wrong answer? You already know it's the wrong answer. Why are you picking it? And you're just like, I just don't know what the right answer is yet, so I'm going to do something instead of staying at home bed rotting and scrolling through TikTok. But yeah, not everyone thinks that way.
That's so entrepreneur.
Yeah, I guess that's the entrepreneurial spirit.
Not all the parents are with the entrepreneurial. They're very safe bets.
Yeah.
Especially Asian ones.
Mm-hmm.
Whole continent of Asia, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. Alright. It's not that bad.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, how do your parents feel about entrepreneurship?
Actually, they were
Yeah.
they were very against it. Actually,
Fuck entrepreneurship.
Get a job.
Hey, get a job. Do now.
there was always this mindset that do your school after school you have time. Now that school is done, get a job. After job you have time. You know, there's always something that you're trying to achieve, and you'll never achieve the end goal. You know, there's always something. Do it first, then do another one.
Yeah.
I mean, recently they're more like chill about the whole situation, especially now that because they see that even an NYU degree is not worth anything, not that much. I mean, as someone who has been graduated for a year, like I haven't found like a full-time position here, so it's like, oh, I went to NYU, so what? Like, what's the point?
You have different story. Not just because you don't have you have an NYU degree.
Oh yeah, I mean a little bit of my like okay, yeah, it's because also partially that's where I'm originally from, makes it a little bit harder.
To do what?
To get a job.
Okay.
Especially back in US, because in US it would have been easier for me as a local like school, you know. But yeah. But other than that, also it's like generally harder nowadays for people to just get a job because they have a degree.
Yeah.
And that comes back to your point that experience now is more valuable, and people are starting to realize that.
I think so.
And yeah, I feel like the whole like process, especially the AI part, is like empowering people to actually not follow school structure as much, because before that, if you wanted to start a like create a website or something, you didn't even know where to start from. The whole point of school was that teach you start from here, you need to learn these, then these. But like if you wanted to do it all by yourself, it was hard to even know where to start from. Or even if you started, if you had a problem, you didn't know how to find the solution. It was very hard. Like you have to go to so many websites and like try to see if anyone else had that problem before. But now you can just use GPT, like assume I don't know anything, how to start like making a website without paying money.
Yeah.
Right? And it'll run you through, okay, these are the possible options.
Do you feel like people, your peers, like your friends, are like actually using GPT to teach themselves stuff? Is it actually happening? I'm just curious.
I feel like people do, even I do a lot. I learned a lot of stuff after school that I was like, wait, these are important stuff. Why didn't I learn them during school?
What did you ask to GPT to teach you?
So here's the thing. Since now I have the base knowledge of certain stuff, I know what to ask it exactly. Maybe if you don't know anything or you have no clue, it might be a little bit harder, or you have to use a better prompt. But for example, for creating a website, right? I didn't want to pay money or something. I just wanted to get something running, right? So I asked GPT, like, how can I use github.io to create a website, or what tech stacks do I need? And it explained it. And since I had a general clue about it, it was making it easier, especially. It might still be a little bit harder for people if they have no clue what they want to do or how to even start. And that goes back to the point that school might be useful in that sense. But I still do agree that school situation, at least for a lot of people, might not be that useful, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I haven't like given GPT a decent shot at like teaching me something. I think the thing that I'm most confused by that I would like love to learn is like how transformers work, which apparently all the kids know nowadays. I just don't know for some reason. I never studied that. Transformers is like the underlying architecture of GPT itself. So basically, I would like to ask GPT to teach me how to get an intuition for how GPT works. That would be really sick if it could like actually help me understand.
Start a combination of like YouTube videos and GPT. I guess that's the best way to go about it.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not really sure. I think like I'll just like start by asking GPT to like explain stuff, and then when I don't understand, I'll just be like, I don't get it, and I'll just like ask it questions again.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But my point was that go maybe on a YouTube tutorial, watch like a half an hour tutorial about like transformers, and now that you have the basis, you know what to ask. All of the words that they explain or all of the structures, then you can like move on from there.
Yeah.
That's the way that I do for the most part.
Yeah. Okay. That's maybe something that I'll try this summer.
Cool.
But yeah, I can go back all the way to your original question, which was
which one?
I feel like I haven't speed run. I'll do a speed run through like what happened when I dropped out of uni.
Back to original question.
The original question. Just so like it like I feel like that'll set like I feel like I wanted to do that, but we kept going on tangents. So talked to my academic advisor. I was like, I hate school, and then he was like, stay in school, and then I was like, no.
Nope.
And then he said, okay, at least take a year off. I said, fine. And then I took a year off, and then I met some strangers from Reddit, and then they're like, do you wanna be the CTO of our travel startup? This was 2019. I was like, sure, let's do it. And then we won 50K in the Velocity Pitch competition. I started working on it. Had a lot of ugly fights. Like these were like two. Not. It's just like there were some really heated moments. I think is what it is, and like we didn't do a lot like really good expectation setting, and we didn't have great communications, and some of it was like my bad as well. But there was like this moment of just like me coding in the basement, and then like my business partners were these two white guys that were twice my age. Like I was 20, they're in their 40s, and so I was just like, why does this feel like not the startup experience I was imagining in my head? Like I thought startups would be like me and like this other guy my age, just like figuring it out, eating ramen together, struggling together. But it sort of felt like I was just this guy that was coding, and the business guys were these like adults that were like doing, and it just felt kind of wrong. I was like, this
Having
is not
steak and fancy meetings.
yeah, it just felt something felt wrong to me about the whole experience. But like, yeah, at the time I was just like trying
Was
to.
that the next startup?
No. That
Oh,
was that was just like the travel startup. It was called Tugolo. We worked on it. I worked on it for 3 years with my co-founders. My co-founders had been working on it before me. We were hit really hard by the pandemic because it was a travel startup, and so totally just like yeah, the pandemic basically destroyed our business, and we continued to like pivot 3 or 4 times to try to like keep up, but it didn't work out. So by this point, it's like I left school, started working in the travel startup, got into a relationship with a girl, moved in with her. COVID happened. COVID ended. We broke up. I changed my name and then moved to Toronto. I moved into a Buddhist cult by accident. I spent 11 months in a Buddhist cult. I got hit by a car, and now my left leg is titanium. Before that, I started playing beach volleyball, but after I got hit, I stopped playing beach volleyball. And then around this point, I like left my startup, and I was sort of like lost and hopeless for a while, being like, what do I do? I don't have a degree, I don't have a job, I don't have a startup, I changed my name, I have no identity, I have no friends, what do I do? And then, so I just wandered around being like, what do I do for like 6 months? And then eventually I met this dude named Scott, and then we became besties right away. He flew back to Vancouver, and then went through a breakup, and then I was like, oh no, and he like, I want to come support you. And he was like, yes. He was like, come fly over. And I was like, I don't have any money, dude. And he transferred me like $250. And he was like, buy your plane ticket right now. So I was like, okay. And I bought my plane ticket, and then I flew over. I landed on Valentine's Day, and I gave him a little cactus as a gift. All the flowers were sold out. So I just gave him a little cactus. I slept on his bedroom floor for 4 months. We did a bunch of different like random projects and like decided to do some startup-y stuff together. He got into Next 36. His friend got into Next 36. Apparently, I was the one who told him about Next 36, and I didn't even know that I told him about Next 36. And then they dragged me into Next 36 too, even though I didn't apply. They just forced me in. And then we all flew back to Toronto for the summer. I stayed in Innis. We all stayed in Innis, and we worked on this AI user interviewing startup for like 4 months. We grew it, got like some single-digit number of customers, ended up selling the IP to our direct competitor in the States, and then Scott and I had a breakup with a third co-founder, but we went back to Vancouver. Do you know what Socratica is?
No.
Okay. There's like some creative co-working communities of like really cracked kids that just come hang out on Sundays to like build side projects together. We did some of that. We hosted some of that in Toronto. We started a chapter when we went back to Vancouver, and then lastly, Scott and I both flew to San Francisco to spend some time there. He went to work for Tesla, and then I worked for just like a random B2B SaaS startup, and then had an existential crisis, and then hung out with a lot of hippies and did some drugs, and then now I'm back. So that's kind of been what's what's happened. That was like the speed run.
It's fun to be an entrepreneur. You have so much fun experience.
I know. I think what happened was I just kept saying yes to stuff, and when stuff got crazy, I just kept saying.
You want
yes.
drugs?
I was just like, no. I was in this mansion, and then like this girl just gave me like this powder and just like snort it, and I was like, okay. And then after I snorted it, I was like, what was that, by the way? Yeah, it was ketamine. Anyway.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about this on camera, so I'm relying on you guys to
Don't do drugs. I don't know if you can even say that. But like, don't do drugs. Stay at school, but yeah.
Yeah, you may have to cut this part out.
We have to cut the whole podcast out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not.
But that's been my journey, and like lots of ups and downs along the way.
That's a very interesting life story. I have more questions now than
Okay, good. I mean, that's good. I wanted to give you guys like stuff to like that.
It's like
be curious
you're
about.
like sitting here like a 40 years old man describing your journey, but you're only just 20.
I'm 26. Yeah.
20-ish.
20-ish. Yeah.
My brother is like 29, and they're pushing him to get a marriage.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does he feel about that?
Marriage?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not dating at all.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not dating.
Why is he not dating?
Well, I guess he had a crisis. He used to date with a girl, but he met that girl in a kind of being said at wrong time is when there was like massive flooding in the city, and they met because both of their car is in the underground parking.
Okay.
So they met through that, and then their parents think it's unlucky, and then so they keep like he finally found a girl, but like his parents just try to stop it or like control it.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because of a sign or something?
Wait. Let me get this straight. So your brother finally meets this girl.
Yeah.
But it's because of an unfortunate situation, and then your parents were like,
not my parents.
No.
His parents.
Sorry. Wait. Okay, gotcha. His parents. Is this your brother or no?
Yeah, my cousin brother.
Your cousin.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, and his parents were like, that's bad luck.
Yeah.
You met this girl. She's the flood girl. You can't marry flood girl,
it's a
or
bad
else she'll
sign.
flood your cars. I'm like, what?
Something like that. Also, that girl is older than him, so yeah.
I don't
And
know.
then he stopped seeing girls anymore.
Oh,
He's like, don't talk to me. I'm not meeting anybody.
damn. Is he?
He's waiting for the next flood.
He's in China. He's waiting for the next flood.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
recommending them to take his parents and then him to the mental health
Yeah.
people to talk about it.
Mhm. Yeah, it makes me wonder because it feels like, at least to me, it feels like Toronto has a dating problem, or like everyone's like, dating sucks. I hate it. Everything's horrible. Is that also happening in China, or is that just a Toronto thing? Or do you not even feel that? Am
Have
I?
you seen those dating parks?
What dating parks?
There's like legit parks in China that like parents go with a poster and they sit there. They're like, this is the features that my son or daughter offers.
No.
Are you
You
interested?
probably need to go when you're hit 30 for 4 years.
Yeah, if you don't find your flood girl at that point.
We'll fly somewhere in the market and see my son.
That's crazy.
And some of them don't even have pictures. There is like a legit list of like features, like height.
I have 4 housing. I have 4 estates in the Shanghai, and then
Hey, yo, I want that.
Hey.
I don't even care who you are. I just want.
yeah, something like that.
Damn, that hurts my soul. No.
We should make the Toronto version of that. Toronto
Should
weekly
we?
dating social.
But I feel in China it's pretty the environment culture is too sick.
It's too
Sick.
sick.
Like ew sick. Yeah, like those when talks when you get into dating and then people talk about marriage and then they started talking asking for money, as part of the marriage, and then
Yeah.
that kind of sucks, and it still happens even for the people like same age as us.
Yeah.
They're still asking for that. Well, it's kind of part of their mindset.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then their parents are too controlling. Parents like to control, but maybe not all the North American parents, but in China, yes, it's very controlling.
Mm.
And
I don't know if these are.
What?
it's a very valid.
Shout out to our Asian parents that are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep controlling your kids. Good job. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's a valid point in my like opinion. You
What?
buy the girl, basically.
You buy the girl, basically. That's valid
not gonna-
in your opinion.
This is not going on the podcast.
I buy it as an oven to produce kids.
Wait, do you guys
Hey.
buy the son too, or is it just the girl?
Buy the son? What?
Yeah, like the, you
Well,
know.
I mean, if you divorce, then you have to pay for the son as well.
Yeah, you get a
If you
long-term
divorce, you
payment
pay
plan.
for the son.
You have to pay.
Yeah.
As a dad,
Yeah.
normally as a dad, you have to pay.
You know
Ooh.
Klarna? It's like that.
Interesting.
Klarna, like you buy something, but it takes months to pay off. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, we
Okay,
should-
fair enough. That's a valid point.
I don't know how we got to this
We're
topic.
hitting like an hour.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
think we should continue or we just?
I was waiting for the camera to heat off. It hasn't.
Oh.
So I guess it's because we're under AC.
What's the most
technically.
random thing you want to ask me about?
Most random thing.
Yeah, the thing that feels like most disconnected from this conversation.
Wow. Ask Sina first. I don't think.
That's a very good question. God damn. That's
What do you do in your free time?
What do I do in my free time
Like yeah.
these days?
It would have been easier if you
These-
had asked like, what don't you do in his free time?
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't.
Right now in my free okay, I've never something that's I've like been trying to figure out for the past 2 years is I sort of feel like I don't know how to have fun, or like I don't know how to intentionally have fun or relax. Like people have their video games and their books and like other hobbies and stuff, and like I don't really have those. Like everything that I do feels kind of like intense. Like going out to an event and talking to people. I guess it is fun, but it also like is very kind of like high energy. And so I've realized that when people ask me like what I do during my free time for fun, I don't know. But recently, I have
Like a laid back, turn off minds type of fun?
Hmm?
You mean like a laid back type of fun?
Yeah.
Or like no thinking type of fun, right?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
have a no thinking type of fun. All my fun,
TikTok?
huh?
TikTok?
I don't even use TikTok.
Well,
Good.
then you gotta start dating because that will make you have no
I-
thinking fun.
I've been I've have a crush I've been hanging out with. I've been spending I've been spending like almost every day with this girl.
Does
like
she know?
for like 2 months. Does she know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Yeah, I'm not good at hiding stuff. Yeah. I used to like hide my feelings for people because I was really scared of rejection and really scared of like revealing to people that I have feelings because it felt like is there something wrong with me for having feelings? I don't know why. But like I recently realized that even when I hide my feelings, hi, we're recording here. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
good approach.
I realized that like I'm so bad at hiding my feelings that like it's so obvious that something's happening that when I don't admit it, I'm just weird, you know? So I can either admit that I have feelings or be like really weird and like make the other person uncomfortable because I'm clearly like not saying something. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's what I learned. I just have to admit it.
But back to the fun thing, sorry. I
Yeah.
changed it to the dating.
Yeah, I've just been spending time with this girl, and we like sometimes hang out in Trinity Bellwoods, and then sometimes we just like stay
Buy some
inside
flowers.
and like watch stuff. I have bought her some flowers recently.
Cactus?
No cactus.
Oh,
no,
cactus
that's
is
for the
only for the
boys.
okay,
yeah,
bros.
it's for the homies.
Yeah.
Nah.
It might actually work. Who knows? It's a different approach. It either like works perfectly or backfires bad.
Just buy the pretty flowers.
Yeah,
Girls
then we'll
like
stick to
it.
the pretty
Okay,
flowers
yeah,
here.
fair. Might be a
Yeah.
sign like the floods type of thing, you know?
But I do have this like creeping fear that like I feel like when I get into relationships or situations or something, I just like I can't help but be scared that like, oh my god, am I less productive now? I don't know why I'm so scared of like not being productive. I don't know if it's just capitalism outside knocking on the door and being like, you're not making up. But like, yeah, there's something about just like I guess I really want to like grow and be awesome or be excellent or be epic or something or like have an epic life, an epic fast-paced adrenaline pumping life, and like something about like being chill and soft and warm and like cozy with someone is like like I worry that I can't be both at the same time. Like it's impossible. But like, yeah, that's something I'm scared of. But I hope it's not true. I hope there's a way to be in a relationship and live an epic life. Yes.
I think there is.
You think there
Certainly,
is?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like there will be conflicts with your partner in the future all the time, and that's
Yeah.
a good way to learn as well. Like unexpectedly, you wish you could have a happy day with this person every single day, but there is problem, and then you sometimes you could even find your own problem more directly because they will tell you.
Yeah.
They will be more like not happy, and then yeah, face to face.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped me to dating helped me to deal with my communication problems.
Yeah.
Like I want to avoid problems. I don't want to talk about it. Just don't talk with me. A few days I'll be okay. But that's happening with the friends, with the parents. But like when dating, just that barrier doesn't pass. I have to be passed today.
Yeah.
So that's like helpful, yeah, in a way.
Yeah. You think that dating's like really helped you be less avoidant about
because
certain things?
they push me.
Yeah.
I have to be, be more answering those questions.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that that I can like ignore or like let slip when I'm on my own. But like when I'm with someone, yeah, like being with someone is making me realize that like I don't have good systems. Like I've been living my life without a system for a while. Systems like I don't have a to-do list. I just have a calendar. I sometimes like don't even look at my calendar in the morning. I just assume that I know what's going on and I don't check. I don't know. I have these bad habits, right? Or a lack of good habits. And it was actually fine when I was single. Like because I feel like honestly I have a lot of cheat codes. Having an electric skateboard is also a huge cheat code. Like if I realize I'm running late, my phone will just send me a notification and I'll be like, oh shit, I have to be there in 5 minutes. But with this thing I can actually be there in 5 minutes, so it's okay. But when I'm with someone, I have to account for like all these extra things, and like just because I can get there in 5 minutes doesn't mean she can get there in 5 minutes, and like and this and that, and then planning and coordination and like getting somewhere, and like all of a sudden I'm realizing that like, oh my god, I have no systems and I need to have better systems. Running without systems works when you're single for me, but when I'm with someone, I realize that like if I want them to be happy and if I want to be responsible, if I want to like care for them properly, I need to get my shit together.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like you're pretty talkative. When you with a girl, like are you the talkative one or are you the listening one?
It depends how scared I am. It depends how comfortable. It depends how comfortable I am. And it can vary on like a day-to-day basis. Like there are days where I know that like there's something that I'm not talking about because I'm afraid of talking about it because I feel like talking about it will like destroy the relationship or something. And those days I'm very quiet. And then there's days where I feel like there's nothing between us, and those days are good. So I think I'm really sensitive to like if there's something I feel wrong about but I don't feel like I can talk about because I'm scared, or because maybe sometimes I have good reasons to be scared. Maybe they were really angry recently and they did hurt me, so I have good reasons to be scared. So like, yeah, when something's wrong, I'm very quiet.
Is there like a moment you don't feel any wrong, but you just want to listen to what?
Yeah, that happens as well.
It's nice.
Yeah. How about you?
Me?
Are you the talker?
I'm very talkative.
Yeah, the talker.
Yeah, but yapping.
You be yapping.
I zoning out when people talk. I'm kidding.
You're like, I can't focus. I need to just open my mouth to focus.
That's what my boyfriend always said. Oh, you just cannot remember what I said. I said, no,
Ah!
I don't.
Don't say that. Now the previous episode
How does
that
he
we
deal with that?
recorded.
How does he deal with that?
Me?
How does he deal with that?
He knows. He has super good memory. Oh my god. He's really good at memory at all the stuff. What I say, what we do, and blah blah blah.
Terrible combination.
I know, and I just don't remember. I said, yeah.
He's the record keeper.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's bad. He said, I know you said these things for you have done this 3 times. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh shit.
You talk more, and then there are more mistakes.
Yeah, that's why you should be silent.
Yeah.
If you can't remember stuff, be silent.
But I guess he's very accepting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
nice.
He sounds like a good boyfriend.
Yeah, we just had a fight.
You just had a fight?
And, yeah, but we're good.
What was the fight about?
Oh, because we just had a disagreement and on the street, and so I left him on the streets.
You're for the streets.
Yeah, I said I want to go home. Bye. I didn't even say bye. I need to go home.
Is he okay? Is he still on the street? Should we go rescue him or something?
He was not okay. Yeah.
Does he have a place to sleep?
Oh, it was just on the day.
Yeah.
Like walking.
How often do you guys fight? I'm just curious.
See, when you have a talkative person, you fight a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I couldn't remember some happy moments. I always remember the bad moments. Like even
The brain does that.
yeah, with my parents, I only remember the moment my dad hate me, or slap me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And then with the what's the question again?
Oh, yeah. I guess the reason I ask you that is just like I think
Oh,
there
yeah.
have been some fights I've been having with
Yeah.
with the person that I'm with, and I guess sometimes when it's a really big fight, I'm just like, should I even be with this person? Like, what? Am I stupid? Like, did I make the wrong choice? Am I just hurting myself and her by not doing something about this? By letting this continue? And like that, like, keeps me up at night.
Overthinking?
Yeah,
I know
a little
you guys
bit.
do a lot of overthinking. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know,
Not
but
generalizing, but
yeah,
I don't overthink at all.
I actually am not. I usually don't. I'm an underthinker. Yeah.
my boyfriend is an overthinker.
Oh.
And he has a good memory, goddamn.
Oh.
That's bad.
Overthink.
Yeah.
He's like those, the movie of Avengers. You know the
Hulk?
The guy-
Smash?
the guy who I don't know, the guy who plays Sherlock.
Oh.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, he's like I've been
Yeah.
calculating all the like routes. There's no way we can beat.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. There's
Yeah.
no way, and that's what he's doing. He's
I
like,
see.
Be thinking.
Yeah, I think that is no. The person I'm with definitely overthinks. But I don't overthink. I underthink. I just hop on my skateboard. I go. Woo!
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but fights are normal, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fun sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm single, but yeah.
That's probably why you're single. Keep that thought to yourself. Thank you.
Honestly, after you guys talking, I'm kind of feeling better. I'm like, maybe this is the way, you know?
Being single? What do you like about being single?
No,
No
no worry
drama?
about like judgments and fights and
Oh.
stuff, you know? Yeah, because I guess, well, here's the thing. I'm not happy about it necessarily, but I feel like at this point, because like my other aspects of lives are not figured out yet, I
Yeah.
feel like I need stability in that area first, like the job and like all of those like future plannings a little bit. As soon as I have stability there, then I can add another like variable to my life in a way. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very
but
wise.
it is fun to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And painful.
Yeah,
And
and painful.
Yeah, I definitely feel like for a long time I like relied on being in relationships as like my primary source of happiness and meaning. And apparently you're not supposed to do that, but no one taught me that. Yeah, I don't really know why. I think I easily like work is fun and meaningful and startups are fun and meaningful, but like for me, like an emotional connection is just like maybe for my brain it's just the best drug ever invented. I was like, I don't need any other drug. I just need this drug. But it does sometimes being like that comes with a terrible price to pay. Yeah.
Okay. I was now recording and the camera died. All right, so this is the ending to the podcast because our camera died, and yeah, we're back to old technology at this point.
But thank you so much, Kai, for accepting our conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was
I
a
have
fun
no idea what we
conversation.
talked about.
But we need a good memory.
Yeah. I don't know if it fit the theme of what you guys wanted to talk about at all, but
Yeah, and the funny thing is that all of us have bad memory and are pretty talkative. This is one of the few situations that I didn't talk a lot.
Nice.
And that only happens with you two, I guess.
Sorry, I've been yapping.
No, it's good. It's good. I feel like we should do another episode, a more fun-oriented episode next time in a park.
Yeah, yes. One episode in a bar with a friend, and then drinking. Sometimes it's helpful for the conversation.
I
no,
agree.
You will shut down. Yeah. No.
Let's get wasted. Let's get wasted and do part 2.
Let's do drugs.
Okay. Oh okay. Part 2 on drugs coming soon to a podcast near you.
All right. Don't do drugs. Bye.
Do drugs.
And subscribe.
Bye.
Yay.